Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the Pattison Ave Phanatics Show. I'm your host, Tom Kelly. With me, as always, Joseph Marks.
Good Saturday morning.
James Gorza.
What's going on?
Frank Finnegan.
Hangover's gone.
Joe Scores is in the house. Damon Salim is not. He will be, though. Not at 8:57 either, unfortunately. So, yeah, for those of you who don't watch all the time, Damon sometimes pops in a little after 9. But we still get started right out of the gate. I would like to start with some 76ers today.
Cool.
Huge comeback victory over Memphis. And an even more enormous game tonight against Boston. But what did that, Joe, I'll start with you. What did that win against Memphis the other night tell you about this team?
That they care.
Well, that's a good thing.
That they care.
Handle with care.
They could have just been the lambs to the slaughter, because at one point they were down by 17.
Yep.
And so they could have been easily the lambs to the slaughter. Their perimeter defense was still not good, even down the stretch.
Right.
If it wasn't for Bain missing 2 wide open threes, we wouldn't be talking about a victory. We'd be talking about a loss. And so they didn't give up, they didn't quit, but they definitely still need to work on some of the fundamentals. I think, you can't. Doc said it in an interview prior to the game that the first practice back from All-Star break was atrocious. And that
You
first
almost
half,
expect it to be, though, don't you?
right.
Yeah. I
As
figured that
Reggie
too.
called it, it's vacation legs.
Yeah, that's like going away on vacation, for a week and then coming back to whatever
Yeah.
job it is you do, and you're just like,
I forgot I was doing that.
I got to suck it up and collect my $600,000.
well, I mean, they don't look at it like that. It's,
Yeah, I know they don't look at it like that.
Well, it's not apples and oranges. That's apples and doorknobs.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Door hedges.
It's apples and yachts.
Yeah, there you go. Apples and gold chains.
here's the perspective: is that the fact that they didn't give up gives me hope, because down the stretch for the rest of the season, the Sixers have the hardest strength of schedule in the league.
Yep,
That's good.
that's good because you're going to see what they're going
to be tested.
Yes, and iron sharpens iron, as
Right.
a former Super Bowl winning coach in this town
Right.
used to say often. And
Yep.
to see how this team will do over the next 26 games
24 left.
24
now.
left.
24 left.
This
5 and the last 6
are
are the toughest part. The middle 10 or 11 are pretty much cake and ice cream.
Yeah.
But it's
So that
it's
12-game road streak is going to be.
yeah, it is.
Yep.
It is.
And I'm like, and now with my post Super Bowl mortem, I'm beyond it.
Yeah.
I actually moved past it a little faster than I thought I would, and like I said, and I wasn't joking when they lost the night they lost the Super Bowl. I went 10-9-8 76ers, because
Right.
now I can fully lock into what's going on with this team. And not that you're not paying attention to it, but when your team's in a championship, your every other focus that you have is on
Yeah,
that
the
team
the
and
team
what-
in the pursuit. Right. I mean, it's just
So-
the way it is.
And now this is the team in the pursuit.
Right.
This is the team that has the best opportunity ahead of us right now. Not saying that the Phils don't, but they're closest to their respective championships.
Well, keep
Winner,
in mind,
winner, chicken
Chicken
dinner.
What-
Shoving up
keep
your
in mind
tuchus.
is, like, if the Sixers go all the way to the NBA Finals, that'll take it to about June or July.
Yep.
Yep.
Hitting season.
Which then will drive you right in, win, lose, or draw, will drive you right into the Phillies, like, the baseball season and, like, the nuts and bolts of it.
Not coincidentally, when that happens, if they take it that far, Bryce Harper will be back in the lineup by then.
Yeah,
Correct.
buddy. And
Yeah.
you know what's sad? Because we're talking about, going right into the Phils, and now the Flyers are so much of an afterthought.
Who?
That the
Yeah, who are they?
the Union is getting more radio time
Yeah.
than the Flyers.
Yes.
Which is just insane. Good morning, Dame.
Thank you,
Morning,
Dame. I'm. I got some crisp Washingtons there.
Always an adventure. Waiting on Dame.
No,
I heard him begging and pleading with the Cuz this week.
Yeah, I heard it.
Pleading
I heard
with him. about there was a couple of topics that you called in about, and
Yeah.
and I'm
Yeah, you were
like,
getting airtime.
oh man, and I smile and I shake. I'm like, Dame will be on that hill forever, which it's a great hill to be on.
He's
'cause
the
you're
last
not
man
wrong.
standing.
But
He'll be the last man standing.
absolutely. Not with just the whole your
Come on,
take
come
on,
on, come
on the big man and
Yeah.
everything like that too. But
I mean, I mean,
you were like explaining like Kobe coming off the bench and then another adjustment that would have to be made and and I could tell Ant wasn't going for it and you were just pleading with him, man. Like, come on, Ant, listen to me, listen to me.
because it's after a while, it's like how many times you gonna make changes. So if you look the other night, Tobias is a huge asset, and I don't know if you guys saw the interview with George Niang with John Kincaid show.
Bang bang, George Niang.
Yeah, and he talked about Tobias is one of the leaders in that locker room.
Yeah.
On many levels, and I know everyone's always going to look at the contract. No fault of his. Hey, man, that's what you.
Yeah, right.
You put the contract in front of him.
Yeah, that's
I'm
right.
not-
You can't,
but
can't think
you have
about
to
the money
also
at this point.
factor that he was a player that was a leading scorer on several teams: Milwaukee, Orlando, Detroit, and the Clippers at one time.
Yeah.
He was the guy.
Yeah.
So that has to say something about who he is, and not look at his character. He's not cried one bit.
No, he hasn't.
And
If
he
he has, I haven't heard anything about
They
it.
don't call plays for him.
Well,
Guys
I mean,
pointed that out,
there's
you
only
know?
one basketball, and you got
That's true.
Harden and Embiid out there. It's hard to divvy up the slices.
And what I said to Cuz yesterday, I called and I said, the thing about Tobias, and Doc Rivers has said this, and I saw it clearly the other night, he thinks too much. When he doesn't think, just goes out and play.
That is a great observation. I noticed that as well.
And it was the play when James hit him with the pass, and he was on the angle,
Catch
like
and
almost
shoot.
like Dr. J.
Catch
No,
and
he was driving.
Oh, the driving. Okay.
And he stopped. And then he looked around. I'm like, Tobias, just keep going.
Natural instinct, man. Go with your first instinct.
And then if you remember later on, and Tom McGinnis talked about it, the one when he shot the air ball, the pass from Joe wasn't in his pocket. He had to reach for it, right?
Mhm.
The next pass he gets, I think it was from Harden, or it might have been, I can't remember, when he hits the clean three.
Yeah, out to the wing, right?
Yeah.
He caught in the pocket, catch and shoot.
Yeah.
He wasn't thinking.
No, that was all instinct.
Yep.
And that's how he has to play the game of basketball. He plays it like that,
Agree. I posed this question to Joey. We're only one question in, so you're not. too
I
far
was
behind.
on. I had to. Yeah, whatever.
It's all
Anyway.
good. It's all good. What
My
did
record
the,
was good too.
what did the win against Memphis tell you about this team?
It said to me the things that I've been thinking about that I'm going to speak about. I think everyone, in life, and I was listening back and forth on the different sports radios, and some people saying there's no way they're going to get out. They may not get out the first. It's the same team, right?
Right.
And what people are missing, this is not the same team of last year. I'm not even going to go back 2 years. I'm literally talking about last season when Harden arrived. This is not the same team.
It's not.
This is Dal Morey and Elton Brand. I salute them. This is a playoff team, TK. Let me get to the point. This team is built for the playoffs. People want to complain about Tucker. You can see the little things. I've been seeing what Tucker's
Of course,
doing.
but everybody knows playoffs a half-court game, and that's where this team's going to excel.
And they weren't last year.
No, they sucked in the half court.
You had and Bob Cooney says it best. Harden was playing like an old man, right? Because of the hamstring. And Niang talked about it. Harden said he hadn't. Frank, he hadn't had good workout in almost 2 years. As far as getting conditioned to get ready with the hamstring. So now you have a young, healthy Harden, not a young Harden, but a seasoned, if you will, healthy Harden, right? Joel B, man. I want to wring people's necks. I do. Because like Joe plays music, right? Like they're great musicians, right? Stevie Wonder, Sting, like some people just great musicians, right? And people say, oh, his last song was so. No, he's a great musician.
Right.
Yeah. Joe was sick.
Joe's like a prince, if you want to compare him to a musician. He could do it all.
He could do it all.
Yeah.
Right? Instruments.
Yep.
Right? Songs.
Sing,
excellent. Right?
everything.
Everything. And so he's sick. He has early 6 rebounds, Joe. In the first quarter, I said, okay, this is something to watch. He had 6 rebounds within the first 2 minutes of the game. First
He
quarter.
had 2 blocks in the first quarter.
He had 2, and he blocked Jackson early, and Jackson goes off later blocking him, and then Joe comes back to block him. Joe did nothing. That's a growing Joel Embiid.
Yeah.
Right?
So
So
to get on somebody.
Right, and then so now everybody else is picking up, man. This team is only going to get better. I like what Doc Rivers is saying. He's playing these guys more minutes because he wants to get them ready for the playoffs.
Well,
He's in a different mindset, by the way.
the way I look at it is Harden's integration with the squad compared to last year's.
Absolutely.
And
Okay.
and health.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
a
and his health.
That's a two-prong.
And his health. I mean, look, it's still dicey that he can make it to the end of the season healthy because it's a slog. It's a slog.
These next 24,
Right.
maybe.
Yeah. But the difference between Harden this year and Harden last year on the Sixers is when he's playing with the second unit is in sync with him.
Right.
Where last year it was completely disjointed.
You want to talk
You know?
about a slog, Frank, is that I heard on the telecast that the Sixers have 12 or 13 games in 17 days.
Yeah.
12,
And-
the next 12 out of 15 games on the road.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
So Harlan and Miller were doing the commentary, and Miller's like, "Oh, you know what that means? The words you hate to utter." And he's like, "Don't say it." He's like, "Load."
Yeah.
And listen, no one wants to hear that because everyone feels like that's a cop out.
Doc hates it.
But
Yes, he does.
Doc hates
Yes,
it.
he does.
I'll bet he does.
Yes, he does.
You got to see the forest.
Did you hear
through
him
the
interviewed this week?
trees.
Yes, I did.
You got to see the forest through the trees.
More to Mike.
The playoffs
Stab it, Mike.
need to be where you push the pedal all the way to the floor.
Right.
Not now.
No.
Not yet. Because the East is such a, with Giannis being hurt for a while and Boston coming up and a couple Boston games coming up, especially today, you're talking about the idea that even if you did load management, there's a possibility the Sixers could get the number 1 seed. Not that that matters. I don't think it matters if you're 1 or 6.
Yeah.
I just don't. Because I think the East is so even
Well,
now.
I think the top three are pretty even. I mean, Boston's a little bit above everybody else because of their wing play. Their wing play.
Cleveland and Miami are starting to come around.
Yeah, they're but they can't hang with the three at the top.
No, I don't think
They
so.
can't. They can't. And it's-
Not in a 7-game series.
no,
Yeah,
no.
but
it's
look-
it's important. I mean, I don't think the Sixers can catch Boston.
Look at the team that knocked us out last year was the Heat, and
Yeah.
they had a worse team then than they do now.
Yeah, but we have a better team now than
I
we
agree.
do then.
I agree. I
You
agree
know,
on
and
that.
the reason the reason they lost that series is Joel's injuries. There's no two ways about it. A broken face and broken finger with Joel, and he's still out there trying to play. He was not the same player.
Yeah, he was concussed, and the thing that you have to look at last year too. Harden had just arrived.
He wasn't
and
integrated.
He
yeah,
wasn't
yeah,
integrated.
You know, I'm gonna take a Damon Salim stance here real quick. So I heard something on the radio the other day that really pissed me
I'm nervous
off.
about that one.
I'm listening to the new. I was listening to the new WIP morning show,
Uh-oh.
and they
You
did.
mean the shit show?
They did
Oh.
it. You're just jealous because he's also called the Hammer.
No, I'm the original Hammer.
He was the Hammer before you were called the Hammer, Joe. But you are the Hammer in my eyes, my friend. Anyway,
Saturday morning.
He can always come walking through the door.
I'm a little feisty today.
He
Because
can
Frank
always-
comes walking in the door talking smack on Newman, and it gets me all fired up.
He
Roman-
can,
Roman
that,
Newman
that
on
guy
campus.
can come
I
walking
know,
into
I
the
know.
door, into the studio, sit down at this table, and I will put him down.
I know you will, Joe. I have
And
all
a
the
hammer
faith in
lock
the world.
or
in you.
just the lock?
So wait a minute. So there was a top 10
Yes, sir.
Philadelphia sports athletes in this. Look at
Okay,
his
not
face. Look at his
again.
face. Where on the list do you think Joel, Hans, and Bede came in, Dave?
11.
No, he came in 7th.
Huh?
How is he the 7th most important?
But currently,
yeah,
current.
current,
All these are
current today,
Time out.
dude.
What?
Dude,
Who's on
they
that top
put
10 list?
and they put him in a tie for 7th with Devontae.
Adams,
Smith?
Devonta Smith?
Okay.
Devontae
No
Smith.
disrespect to Devontae.
No disrespect at all. Was it ESPN? And then
I
they
think it was
were.
ESPN.
Was he the one who recited it? It was his list. Okay, even worse.
Well, you know, just-
ESP is
If ESPN did it,
tied for 7th.
That's insulting. That's okay. That's okay.
All right.
That's
So look,
okay.
all right. You want to
That's
say Jalen Hurts, the guy just took you to a Super Bowl, played out of his mind, and almost won it. Fine. Bryce Harper
Sure.
hits a gigantic home
Sure.
run last year.
Fine.
That's
So
what
basically,
I'm saying.
okay,
Can't
fine,
argue it. Right.
Fine,
MVP, sure.
yeah.
MB3.
But
Yeah.
but what other person in this town, other like
None.
would be third
So-
on that list? In
So
your mind?
here's the ignorance and Big Joe and go ahead, James. Go ahead.
Let me ask you. Who else was on his top
Yeah.
10 list? It looks like it's a. big
I'm,
ass
I'm gonna have
list.
to. I'm gonna have to see if I can.
Who?
What the
Okay.
Union
But see,
goalie?
now this is out of
Yeah.
Nah, because I'm
What?
now this is out of control. So
Hold
so
We're gonna put Carter on that list
Hold on,
too.
let me see if I can pull this
Come
up.
on.
so
I
Big,
know, I
Big
know, I
Joe
know.
and Franklin is gonna they're gonna
sorry.
Don't do that.
they're gonna relate to what I'm about to say. You guys
Trust me,
have
I got a
seen
lot
it.
of problems with
That's
Carter. Believe me.
So growing up, they actually featured the top athletes in the city. Dr. J,
Yep.
Ron Jaworski,
Yep.
Bobby Clark, and Mike
Correct.
Smith.
Yeah, didn't they take
They
a picture at
taking
the
pictures
art
together.
museum?
They were featured in different times throughout
Yep.
their time here.
Yes, they were.
They were the faces.
They were the
of
four dogs. They were the four
franchises,
horsemen.
man.
They were the
Come
four
on.
horsemen.
And all four of them played in their championship games in their respective
Yeah, they did.
sports.
They did.
So some more than once, as we know. But whatever the case may be, you start there.
Yeah.
You start. No disrespect to the Union. You start there.
Well,
your
I mean,
top
look,
three
if
would
this
be-
is
The top three in any order would be Jalen Harper and Embiid.
see, this
point
gets
blank,
back to my
hands down.
conspiracy theory about the Sixers. If this is coming from
respect.
if this is coming from ESPN, right? Then that,
Elliott Short Parks, I think.
You
what
know
the hell is he smoking?
You know,
then?
you know,
He's a local
You know,
guy.
you know what those people do that.
Oh,
And I talked about this with Bashar. Like Marcus Hayes' article the other day was so disturbing. These guys are hot takers. The
Yes.
Elliott Shore Parks,
Thank you.
the Marcus
Thank you.
Hayes.
Oh,
is-
big
Thank you.
time.
They're
Thank
hot.
you.
They're such
Hate
hot
Marcus
takers.
Hayes. Hate Marcus.
Marcus Hayes writes an article on Thursday saying that for you processors, get ready for it to end. Joel Embiid wants to go to
there it is.
Miami.
There it
uh,
is.
Harden,
There it
somebody-
is.
You have no evidence
Come
of
on,
this.
Marcus.
Joel Embiid just put a house down the shore. Like Joel Embiid's not leaving Philly. He jokes. I mean, what are you talking about? Why would he go to? Why would he go to another
Hold on,
market?
hold on. Okay, wait a second here.
You got the list?
All right, so
I'm
this is the
I'm
so
aware.
I pulled up his Twitter. Okay, so now it has him in a different place here. Well, we're gonna attack this list anyway. All right,
Please,
Joey's
now
ready.
you got my
Joey's ready.
we're
for a
gonna
rumble
now. It
since the
does
Super
he
Bowl.
does have him beat 3 on this list.
Okay. He's
So,
smart
but that's
now.
not what I made. So maybe one of the guys on the morning show put out their own list. But here's
Wait.
Elliott Shore Park's top 10 Philly athlete list current. Number 1, Harper.
Okay.
Number 2, Hurts.
Okay.
Number 3, Embiid.
All right.
Number 4, Lane Johnson.
All right.
Number 5, Andre Blake.
Who?
Who?
That's the goalie for the Union.
I'll say it again.
Okay.
Who?
Yeah.
Right. Number 6, Harden. Number 7, AJ Brown. Number 8, Hassan Reddick.
Okay.
9, Trey Turner. And 10, Zach Wheeler.
Where's Kelsey?
Okay,
Where's Kelsey?
Where's Kelsey?
hold up.
Yeah.
Trey Turner just got here.
Yeah, he doesn't even.
Right, dude, yes. And,
He
He
and-
hasn't even played.
hasn't even done his 90 days.
I
Trey
know.
Turner hasn't even done his 90 days.
What
Yeah.
the
You
God?
do at least 90 days, right, Frank?
I'm
To
telling
get
you.
to get the benefits.
It's got to take a swing in a real game.
Yeah, give me 90 days, and then you get the
Has he
benefits.
even put the uni on?
Yeah,
yeah,
actually.
he's-
His first
Hot
swing, he hit a car in the parking lot.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
hot
right.
takers. Hot takers. Hot takers,
But,
man.
That- That's clickbait.
okay.
Nah.
so sensible.
You just
And
want-
you know what?
you
You know
want
what, Tom?
clickbait.
Tom, you know what
You
that
want
is?
clickbait.
This is clickbait to
It's
get
clickbait.
people to do exactly
I
what
what
we're
we're
doing
doing right now.
I
Yeah,
can't.
but you know what?
I
It's
can't.
fine because it's an interesting list
Yeah.
to put together, and you
Well,
know,
it gets
we're,
people talking,
and we're going
you
off
know?
the rails a little bit, and that's okay, and we'll bring it back. But I'm probably going Hurts 1.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I would have to go Hurts 1, and then Embiid and Harper might be tied for second.
Either way, 2 and 2 and 3. I don't. It doesn't.
I'd only give it to Harper because of his performance in the playoffs last year.
Okay,
Agreed.
I agree with
Okay.
They
that.
went to the
And,
finals.
But I mean, they're 2 and 2A.
Well,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
but like after after that top 3,
Yeah.
If Lane Johnson is 4, then Jason Kelsey is
Kelsey's
4.
five.
And I would
4A.
Yeah.
I would put
in my
Kelsey
eyes.
before Lane.
If-
I mean,
well,
I would.
the Lane.
I have
would
no
feel like-
disrespect. to
Look,
Lane.
if Lane Johnson's 4, then Hassan Reddick is 5.
5.
Then Kelsey.
And guess who needs to be on there too? And can we move? How about Brandon?
BG. Yeah.
Hold
Yeah.
up. Hold up. I'm going to add it.
I'm just saying.
I'm
And
not
that's
sure.
I would make the D
I'm
line
not
5.
sure if you said it at the end. What about Tyrese Maxey?
Right.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
Where's
Way
he at?
before Trey Turner.
Yeah.
He's been here for
Yeah.
crying out
Yeah.
loud.
Yeah.
He gets
And no offense to Union Soccer and Andre
No
Blake.
offense.
No
But in the
offense at all.
but in the shootout in the last game of the season, brother, you lost it for your team.
Yeah.
Oh,
Gave up 2 goals in the
Right?
last
TK, look at that.
in the
TK
extra
comes
time.
Oh,
strong.
you- look at that.
a fire.
TK
Welcome
comes
to the
strong.
new Union
Shots
Soccer Show right here.
Shots fired.
Whatever street that's on down there will be that street at Fanatics.
TK comes
We
strong.
have the attacking third. You have the attacking
Austin
Irishman right
Hamill from the Devereaux Sports Crew is now our resident
Official.
Union media guy.
Nice, congratulations.
Yes,
Congrats,
man,
buddy.
absolutely. So anyway, let's get
Union's
it back.
first game tonight. Yeah. Yeah. So
Let's
yeah.
get it back to your Phil. Maybe I'll tune into that while I'm waiting for Sixers basketball.
And if that goalie gives up 5 goals,
I'm
you're gonna
gonna
be all
I'm gonna
over it.
Firebomb Elliott Shore Parks' house. I'm just
We're
kidding.
joking, folks. But he doesn't even know
Just
where he
kidding.
lives.
Just
Doesn't
kidding.
even
I
know where he
don't,
lives.
and nor do I want to know.
Exactly.
And
Just having
Thomas,
fun.
you need representation. There's a person you could talk to.
You,
All right.
you know what, Joey? I'm glad you brought that up because that's my man, David Archeri Esquire.
There you go.
Workman's comp, motor vehicle accidents, fire bombs on Elliott Shore Park House, personal injury, and criminal law. Call David now at 610-565-0300. Tell him the guys at Pattison Ave Fanatics not only need him, but sent you there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep his number handy.
www.jerryinjurylaw.com.
That's
Thank
good
you,
work.
Joey, for that little
That's
segment.
good work.
That's a good
fine.
segue, Joe.
That's good
And
work.
and I'll jump right on an easy segment. If I don't have to come up with it, I'm all about
That
that.
was awesome.
That's brilliant.
What does this team need to do to tighten up on defense?
The Sixers?
Sixers?
Yes. Sorry, we went off the. Hey,
No,
sometimes
Look.
we're
The
going for round.
defense at the professional level is all about heart and determination.
Oh my God, Mike
Because-
Laro, are you serious right now? Are you trying to make
Oh, my
Damon
God.
Salim
Oh.
foam from the mouth
I'm not even reading English this morning.
like a
I
rabid
can't-
dog?
Look, Mr. Lario,
Lario.
cut it out with that trade and beat stuff.
Yeah, on
Yo,
Jason. You can go check
Mike
it right now.
Lombardi, you're not a GM. You actually got ridiculed.
Not today.
So guess
Feeling
what?
too good.
Oh, here we
Save your take for the PMS show tomorrow.
PMS show.
Oh man, here we go. Not
Shady feet.
like a good
Get your
little.
Tampax ready
Yeah.
and get your adult diapers ready
Yeah.
and go sit there and throw your little hot takes out there
Oh man,
about Embiid. Listen, any right-minded person
I think he's just trolling you, Joey.
So,
that
yeah, Joe, I'm not even
trades-
going. I'm not even
that
going
trades a potential MVP. Look at where the guy that gives my last name a bad name, Sean Marks, the Brooklyn Nets general manager, just traded 2 guys that were
So much
studs.
for a segue.
And look at where the hell he's at. He's fighting to keep his job in Brooklyn. Yet you want Daryl Morey to trade the potential and should be reigning, defending MVP. You are a bonehead.
Whoa.
Dave Arnold checks in and says, "Joey, I'd rather watch paint dry than listen to your candy ass."
Oh, boy.
Dallas still sucks, Dave.
Woo!
Hey, Dave, when you sit in this studio, you can talk to me.
Oh, no. Here we go. Wow.
When you
What
have
is
the-
going on around here today? Joey's just taking
Anyway.
shots at everybody.
When you have the
See, you had to
balls-
mention Firebomb. Now his ass is
Mike Lauro, troll in effect.
when you have the balls to step into this studio, then you can talk to me.
Oh my God.
And the hammer has dropped.
No,
Frank,
the
you were
hammer
saying-
has dropped.
Look,
that you were saying about the defense.
Yes.
all right. So defense at the
Good
professional
stuff, though, Joe.
professional level comes down
Good
to
stuff, Joe.
determination.
Sleeping
You,
dragon.
we all know that they have every single player in the NBA has the physical ability to play defense.
Mhm.
Okay, it all comes down to your mental approach. They can all do it. It's just a matter of whether they want to or not. And what bothers me about the Sixers is
Mhm.
when you watch them play, you get past 3 passes on defense and they quit. The opposing team passes the ball 3 times and they lose it.
I'm going to look at that tonight. I know Kevin Durant mentioned that.
He said it, and I watched.
Okay.
And
No,
they-
I'm not going back. I'm not going to. I'm going to key in on that because.
And as much as I love the kid, Maxie, when he's on the court, watch where that 4th pass goes.
No, I mean I want to look at that. I think that it's I mean, they're actually in top 3 in defense,
Yeah.
which is
Well, a lot of that's Embiid.
Well, yeah, and so now I think here's the positive I'll take from that and out of this is that Embiid is constantly speaking up and speaking out about them getting better on defense, and the fact that I know that PJ Tucker is their defensive leader,
Mr. Pace myself.
So
I love that guy.
I think that, and then you have Jalen McDaniels. He's going to be out there effectively. I think that Doc Rivers right now, and he talked about it a little bit yesterday on John's show.
He said Tucker's their defensive captain,
and he also said he alluded to the fact that he's making guys play more minutes because he's preparing for the playoffs. And I think he's cracking down on his defensive rotation because one of the biggest things is come about is people are saying that they think Maxi's struggling. He had 16 points the other night. I thought he got a couple of fouls that the refs choose not to call for whatever reason.
Right.
I don't think he's earned that respect yet consistently where he gets by a guy, gets to the rack, the guy's bumping him, and the ref will not make the call. Like that frustrates me. So, but that'll come. So they're trying to figure out because they want to start the game with Melton defensively because Maxi's not the best defender, but he tries. He's willing. You can see he's made the adjustment to pick the guy up from one end of the court to the other. As Doc told him, you're 7'2" when you're in that position. So if they can figure out to not leave, I think and I get what you're saying, Frank. So when Frank says that they stop playing defense, what's happening is I don't think it's necessarily to stop. Somehow the guy's wide open.
Right.
Am I correct?
Yeah.
In saying what you're saying?
Well, it's because what I'm seeing is they're anticipating a shot before that third pass, and they're falling back.
Right, they're committing to the other thing.
They're not playing it. They're not playing the play all the way out.
Right,
and it makes them sag.
Right,
and it makes them really susceptible to wing play, which is going to make tonight's game really difficult because there are two excellent wing players on that team.
Well, and so what has to, and then the other thing is, which I agree with you, is that they'll either complete or stop cause the team to miss a shot, and then no one has their hands up for the rebound.
I don't understand
the ball. I'm like, dude, put your hands up. Go for the ball. So I think if they could work on those things,
I think when they get to the playoffs, it's going to be a different animal because I mean I get what you're saying about that. I said it before Christmas that the season doesn't start till Christmas, and after Christmas, the Sixers have won 25 games. After Christmas,
they're battling,
and they did not. They are a different team now than when they started the season. There's no two ways about it. They're playing completely differently. The second squad got a ton of playing time with all those making up for those injuries, and not only did they get a ton of playing time, they won.
They won, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
So
games that people didn't think they were going to win.
This wouldn't have happened with last year's bench. This bench this year is 8-9 people deep. Last year it was 6-7.
So tonight, are you using tonight as a barometer?
I have to.
Yeah, you have to. Right. They have to win this game tonight.
They have to win this game. You've lost to them twice. As my friend reminds me, a couple of things I got to share with you guys. Joey's not going to like this. Well, my friend reminds me, shout out to my buddy Derek. Happy birthday, Derek. He's my buddy.
Happy birthday.
But he's a thorn in my side. He's on me about my Sixers and the Eagles, but I love him. That's my buddy. But
he's not a Celtic fan, is he?
No. He has about 10, 15 different basketball teams. He's a LeBron fan. Leave it at that. But anyway, he said the Celtics blew us out last year, which they did. He also said something. It's kind of cold, but it's true. He's like, so y'all brag about how the Cowboys haven't won since the '90s. Well, the Sixers are right.
Yeah, they are. 40 years.
40 years. Yeah, and I couldn't say anything. I was like, dude, that kind of stings.
Yeah,
Flyers haven't won since the '70s.
It kind of stings. So
it's been that end of the street has tumbleweeds on it.
But you know what?
Don't make me retract my happy birthday.
And it's crazy, right? But it's crazy because the organization had opportunities. I don't know why I keep thinking about the other day when they didn't take Brad Daugherty and then they put him and Barkley in the game together and the announcer said this could have been the Sixers front court, which because Barkley, TK, people forget this. So in Barkley's rookie season, the Sixers was in the Eastern Conference Finals against the Celtics. Their front court couldn't match. The next year they didn't make the Eastern Conference Finals, but after that year, they actually that was the matter of fact. Billy Cunningham retired after that year. Now that I think about it, and Matty Gukas was the head coach who I didn't like. He and Moses got into an argument during game.
can't coach tall.
And Moses gets hurt. He doesn't play. He doesn't play. He had an eye injury against Milwaukee or something like that. Anyway, they wound up trading him and doing that whole shabacle, which really hurt the franchise.
Oh my God!
Harold
killed him.
Katz claims that he invited Brad Daugherty to the house and he worked him out, and he didn't think he was tough enough. And it's like, first of all, he's going to play 20, maybe 15% against you of his ability. You're not a player.
Oh my God.
So they went ahead and made this outlandish trade where they traded the first overall pick to Cleveland for Roy Hinton, who always crushed us but couldn't crush anybody else.
Oh my God!
Then they go ahead and traded Moses
Why
for
did you
Jeff
do this to
Rulin,
me? Why did you do this to me?
who had a 2-year knee injury. The doctor said don't touch it, and they wasn't talking about NC Hammer. And so then they go ahead and trade a guy named Terry Catledge, who was up and coming big man,
Oh my
who wound up
God!
making his bones with Orlando. Then they wound up trading 2 first-round picks. Now, a dude named Jack McMahon, God rest his soul, put the Sixers in a great position draft-wise.
Yes, he did.
Sixers were always that's how we were able to get Barkley. That's how we were able to get Daugherty if we had went ahead and got him. We could have even gotten, this is crazy, I don't know if you ever heard this story. We were in the position to either draft Rodman or John Stockton.
Oh my God!
They just
I didn't-
squandered so many things.
37
And
seconds
Charles
ago, I
Barkley
didn't have a headache.
Would have had a ring.
Oh
I'm sorry to make you, but this is what the organization.
I can't relive that, dude.
I'm sorry. I
You
went
just
down.
did.
So Charles Barkley, if they make that move, he would have had a ring before Michael Jordan.
We'd have had several rings.
He had a ring because that front court would have matched.
Man, they'd have been nasty.
They would have had to match Parrish, McHale, and Bird.
That's terrible. Terrible.
They would have had to match. So that front court would have. That's all they needed to match. And you know what Bird said after that deal? Thank you, Sixers.
Yep.
Oh, Mike Laro says hammer more like crowbar, Joe, just in case.
I'm sorry, Frank. But here's a good thing. This year,
Yeah.
I'm liking what we have. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I said it 2 months ago. They're in the finals.
Yeah, I like them.
They're in the finals.
TK, I'm with Frank. We stay healthy. They're there.
Yeah.
It's going to be a fight. We're going to have to play one of the teams. I'm accepting it.
I'm
I'm okay.
going to tell you something.
So they
We're
go.
going to have to play both of the teams.
They go in there tonight and get blown out. Does your mind change at all?
No.
No, because it's going to be opposite.
It's not going to be a blowout.
They're going to blow Boston out.
You know,
It's not going to be a blowout.
Boston nicely tonight.
I
feel it, man.
Damon, when it comes to this Sixers stuff, at least with Embiid, but Damon's usually spot on. So
I'm smelling
yeah.
40.
So
I'm smelling 40 from him.
a 40.
Oh, I think he's
I'm
definitely
smelling
showing
So
up tonight.
what's leading you to believe that they're going to blow him out tonight?
Just what they went through the last game with Memphis. I'm not saying blow out 20 points. I mean, I think a double-digit lead.
10 points would be a blowout
Yeah.
with the Celtics. That would be a blowout.
And I think that they know they have to win the game. They know that they lost it. That last game when they lost to them in Boston, and I know Tatum got hurt early, but if Maxey and Tobias score four more points each.
Look, this is why
that's how I look at that game.
This is why they must win the game. They must win the game because if they lose the game, they'd have to be 5 games better than Boston to have any shot at taking the number 1 spot, and that ain't going to happen with 23
Boston
games
would have
left.
the series lead,
Right.
Series lead.
But more importantly, and they're not going to catch Boston. Nobody's catching Boston. They have to be on top of Milwaukee. They got to take the 2 seed simply because they're going to face Milwaukee in the playoffs, and you want the home court advantage against Milwaukee.
Well, no, the 1, 2, and 3 aren't going to face each other until the third round.
No, if you're three,
No.
you're going to play the second.
Yeah,
series.
Reggie Miller said this on the commentary. He said that's the reason why the race for whoever gets to 1 or 2 is so important, especially with the Giannis injury, because they won't have to face the other team until the third round, until the Eastern Conference Finals.
No,
The way that it's structured, the way that the playoffs sets up.
So 1 will play 8, 2 will play 7, 3 will play 4.
Right, but
No,
you got
1
to
will
keep
play
in mind with the play-in and then everything like that.
6,
The 6, 7, the 5, the
5
4,
and 4 play each other.
Yeah, I mean, you got to keep in mind like they're going to be on kind of the opposite side, and that's what the NBA wants. Is they want the 2 best teams to be in the conference finals.
Right.
That's what they want. So they don't want to spoil that in the semifinals in the second round, because then what's your conference finals going? one or two playing your 5 or 4. Like, no one wants it. The NBA doesn't want that.
Yeah.
Now you want the big dogs going against the other big dogs for sure.
But I mean, the importance of this game is getting to the number 2 seed. I mean, they have.
Oh, you mean this game?
Yes, they can't lose this game. They cannot lose this game. They have to beat Boston tonight. It's a must win.
And I'm expecting a big game out of Maxey tonight.
Let's keep in mind it's 24 games that are left on the schedule and how tough the schedule is.
That's monstrously difficult.
We can't be realistic to the idea that they're gonna be like undefeated in that regard.
No.
But I think you have to go into it saying if we can have a record with 70% winning percentage in the next 24 games, like something to the effect of like 18 and 6.
They're going to need that to get the number 2.
Right. Well, I feel like even because there are going to be some matchups with Boston, there are going to be some head-to-heads. And you got to keep in mind, if they win those...
They only have one left after this.
Two.
No, one after this.
Today.
One after today, yeah.
So, I mean, but that could
April
be
4th.
enough because they only have a 3-game lead. That could be enough.
Yeah. See, but if they lose this game, it's
You're
done.
behind the 8 ball.
You're buried.
You're behind the 8 ball.
because
You'd have to beat 5 games better than the Celtics to win the division.
and then it puts
win the
something. It just
conference.
does something to your from what you want to build on what you did Thursday night. You want to build off of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And everybody they were sluggish. They were a couple of calls, but they battled, man. They listen. They did a tremendous job on John Morant. I mean, tremendous.
I'm curious to see. to see Tucker's role tonight, defending wing players. I'm curious to see what he does.
So as I said to Cuz, take care. Like so that team, Boston and
Morant
Milwaukee,
only have 15 points.
yeah, and they locked him. They beat him up, and then that block Embiid. I mean,
Oh.
Embiid. That thing right there that changed the game. That was like, okay, we got to get on him. We got to
And
follow.
keep in mind, the person that was guarding Morant, there was 2.
Yup.
It was Toby and it was Melton.
And at times it was Maxey. Now he was cooking Maxey.
Every once in a while, it was Maxey because here's the thing: is they don't want Maxey to be on like their fastest player, because then when there's a breakout, then he has to have a release.
I want to see if they put McDaniels on Malcolm Brogdon because he can be a problem.
Yeah.
Tonight.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
Yeah, he's the fly in the ointment. Brogdon's the fly in the ointment. Because you know what Tatum and
Smart's playing too, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
no,
we're
they're full. That's a full squad. We're going full squad again. The last time we played them, there was like Maxey went out in the first half. Who was injured? Was it?
I mean, last time in Boston,
No,
Tatum got hurt.
Tatum was out.
I mean, not Tatum. Brown got hurt.
And Smart didn't play.
Smart didn't play.
And we had guys out. We had
Maxey did play, and Harry. I just remember.
Yeah, but no, Maxey went out halfway through the game, and got hurt.
No, he played. When last time they played, he scored like he didn't score as much as he needed to score 4 more points. He played. Him and Harris, they struggled. Maxey shot 3 for 11. I remember that in that game.
Isn't that the game where he hurt his foot?
No, they just played Boston February.
It was the game before. It was the game before that.
Oh yeah, a while ago. Yeah. Knox, he got hurt against Milwaukee.
Was it Milwaukee or Boston?
It was Milwaukee.
It was Milwaukee. Yeah, it was Milwaukee. But I'm expecting a big game from him.
All right, so let's get some predictions for tonight. How you see it playing out?
Me, I see it. I see
Whichever one of you want to jump.
It's going to be. I don't see a blowout. I see the Sixers winning the game, but it's a dogfight, right to the end. Right to the end of the dogfight.
How about you, Joey?
I think the Sixers by 3.
That's James.
Pretty much the same, I would say. Probably like 3 or 4.
Dame?
12.
Sixers
12.
double digit win.
This
This game gets me nervous, boys.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
This game gets me nervous.
That's okay.
I think Celtics by 5.
Okay.
I just coming, the emotion in last, in the game against the Grizzlies, coming back from being down when coming back from the All-Star break, and I mean that was an emotional win, and usually, a lot of times there's a letdown after an emotional win. I hope to God I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I don't like picking against my teams, but
That's how you feel.
gotta keep it real. Gotta
That's
keep it
how
real.
you feel. That's how you
Well,
feel.
what will the keys to tonight's game be in order for them to come away with this victory? what needs to happen.
You can't shut down both Tatum and
Brown.
but you have to eliminate one of them. You have to take one of them out of the game.
Or let both of them. I'm not saying get off.
Morning, Norm.
But stop.
Norm.
Good morning, Norm. But stop the others around them. And if you can, because either way, and that's why I keep thinking about Brogdon. Like you just said, the fly.
Yeah, he's the fly in the ointment.
You have to watch him.
Yep.
See, here's the thing with Boston, and this is where the Sixers. I don't want them falling. Boston's going to tug and pull and beat you down. So you have to counter that. So you mentioned Tucker.
Yeah,
that's where he comes.
No, this is Tucker. I got to tell you, this is Tucker's game.
That's all Boston does. They muscle you.
Yeah.
Until the ref says whoop.
Yeah, they're bully ball.
That's all they do.
Right.
And hit threes. And they're good at it. I'm not.
No, they're real good at it. They're really
you
good
have
at
to
it.
go in there knowing that, and I'm sure the Sixers do. And, yes, do I
Well,
think.
the Sixers aren't a faint-hearted team.
No.
They can muscle up with anybody.
They can, but I'm saying like I don't want them when the ref doesn't call that foul early on to get distracted. Okay, this how you want to do it. Okay, I'm going to counter that and really and stay, play their game, move the ball, get up on them defensively. No, it's going to be a fight. I'm not saying that there's going to go out.
You know what's
but
going
I think in the end the Sixers going to.
You know what's going to tell you how activated both of these teams are is at some point in the game, players are going to need to be separated. That's how you'll know. That's how you're going to know both teams are.
Almost got that way with the Grizzlies.
Right, but this is different. This ain't.
I know. That's shocking.
But I mean, there's going to be a point in this game where they're going to have to separate players.
I want PJ Tucker to grip somebody up.
That's what's going to happen. It might be on your boy Brogdon. You know, PJ and Brogdon might get into it a little bit.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
You know, bang bang.
Nobody wants.
Bang bang likes a bang
bang.
Bang
bang is a bad. He's a bad.
He's a banger.
He's a bad.
I do like George. Yeah.
You know, one of the things that's a big key to not just this game but going forward, and I've said this since the beginning of the season, but especially with the schedule coming up, they have to work. The Sixers have to work on their perimeter defense.
Yeah.
They have to
100%.
lock down shooters because someone like Tatum can go off for like 6 for 8 from 3-point range. Someone like Brogdon could do the same. And so when you have guys that know that they're going to get that 3-point line, they're going to abuse that. And I say abuse in the sense that they're going to hone their strategy to take advantage of that, where your weaknesses will be their strengths. And that's what I really worry about going down the stretch is how will they adjust their perimeter defense? And will it get better or will it still become a Achilles heel for this team? And I think I'm in kind of lockstep with Frank in the sense that with Jaylen Brown and Tatum, if I had which one I would want to shut down and let the other one kill me, I would have loved to shut down Tatum and let Brown just try to sustain a 50-point game because I don't think he can do it.
No, Tatum could though.
Right. That's why I'm saying I would rather shut down Tatum.
Yeah, Tatum's got some black mamba in him. And
and you know,
Danny Ainge wasn't wrong about that.
We talked about the idea last week about Mikal Bridges.
Oh.
And you know how
I just got rid of my headache.
We talked about how we missed on Mikal Bridges and how that made me feel, but a lot of people knowing what we know now about Tatum, that's the one we're going to really be looking.
Well, they were never going to get him.
I can't get mad at that because
no, they were never going to get him.
I said it to people, Danny, that was part of the deal.
We had the first overall pick.
Yeah,
but we're not going to get him.
But Danny Ainge went to Colangelo. Colangelo always wanted Markel.
Right.
Let me say that Markel Fultz was the consensus overall number one.
Yeah, he was
by everybody.
Everybody.
Right, but if you had the number one, I mean, Frank's saying we weren't going to get him. We had the number one overall pick. There was no one.
No,
he was never taking him.
Boston had the
yeah, but they were never taking him.
Boston had the number one overall pick, and part of the deal, Danny Ainge said, "I'm not making this deal. I'll make this deal, but I'm getting Tatum." And it was like that's how they do it sometimes. It's like a handshake. Like, listen, I'll give you a prime example. So the Sixers had the it was Sixers, Golden State, and Orlando. I believe the Sixers had the number 2 pick Orlando had the #1 pick and Golden State was anyway. The Sixers could have had the young Chris Webber. Orlando drafts Chris Webber. The Sixers took Sean Bradley.
Tall. Can't
Right.
coach tall.
And then the Warriors would have taken Penny Hardaway, but Shaq, because he did the movie with Penny Hardaway, was like, look, draft this guy, Penny Hardaway. Blue chip. So Don Nelson really wanted Sean Bradley, but he goes ahead and makes a trade with Orlando, and that's how Chris Webber winds up in with Golden State. But we could have had a young Chris Webber again, man.
Yeah, we only got the old Chris Webber.
Remember that, Frank?
Listen,
I'm sorry to give you another headache, but it just dawned on me to the point. Reason why
beyond
I bring it up,
headache now, it's migraine.
because these kind of deals are made. They're like, look, I'll trade you, but I'm taking this player. You know they do it all the time in football, Joey.
I will.
You know they do it all the time in football. You know what I mean? When they trade these players.
You know what?
What?
I'm sorry.
There is a baseball team in this town.
There is, isn't there?
There is a baseball team in this town, and they're playing their first organized game
Today.
Yeah, it's a split squad, so there's 2 games going on.
Yeah, there is.
I mean, how can you not be excited?
Hey, could we get tickets to this game if
I know.
you know?
I already got
if we
something lined. I've got something lined up for that. If we went to Sherry's tickets, Sherry's tickets down. If you look, no hidden prices, great prices, no hidden fees, sports, concerts, theater. www.sherrystickets.com. Family owned and operated since 1946, and if you use the promo code EOP10, you save 10% off your purchase. What the price you see is the price you get at sherrystickets.com.
You know, guys, I'm going to put out a little challenge here for us. I want the Pattison Ave Phanatics to pick a Phillies game.
I would love
like
that. I would
like
love
and,
that.
And the 4 of us, the bunch of us go to the Phillies game
I like that.
as the Fanatics.
As long as it's warm, like May.
No, we're not going to do and we're not doing hot.
No.
Right in those
May.
stinking fly game.
I've been to hot games. I don't like the hot games. No,
me
I just something nice and
Yeah.
comfortable.
I sweat making a cheese sandwich, so I'm all about a nice, cool, but not cold game.
Yeah.
Let's do it. I'm challenging you guys. Maybe a Saturday night game.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah,
Let's
I
do
like
it. Well, what do you guys think about Sosa learning the outfield?
I think
Who's in the outfield? Sosa?
yeah.
Monday.
I didn't know that.
No, they're doing what they should do with that guy.
PAP at the park deal says.
Yeah. Yeah. I think they see Sosa's value to this team, and they're making him a true utility player.
Yeah.
They can throw him in anywhere at any time. This is Topper doing what Topper does, and he's going, look, you got to learn another position. You know what? There's going to be a time because I'm going to have some slow feet out there. I'm going to need somebody with a little quicker step in the later innings to go out and catch some balls, because Castellanos and Schwarber aren't the quickest guys in the world. You know?
That's
I worry about this.
Why?
This reminds me of Scott Kingery.
No, it's a different. Sosa's a different animal, dude. He's a seasoned guy.
JP, jetpacks.
He's not a rookie, dude. He's a seasoned guy.
Hey, jetpacks makes
It's just an outfield position. He's shagged balls his whole career.
Don't worry about jetpacks, Joey. He's
Yeah.
all right. Jetpacks is nice.
if you got to take a piss, don't worry. You're not going to piss on
You
yourself.
got
That's
to
right.
take a piss.
Just don't worry.
Just
Just
don't worry,
piss.
Joey. Jetpacks is all right. What they sign him to, Frank? What do you get? A $5 million deal?
It's the best analogy.
I
Still,
don't know.
So the best.
Well, jetpacks. What did he get, Joey?
$9 million. didn't he?
Kingery?
He got
Yeah.
$9 million, didn't he?
Yeah, what did he get? What was his deal?
It was like 4 years for like 8 or
$9
something.
million. I think it was
Yeah.
like 4 years for $9 million.
So is this going to the 4th year now, right?
This is it.
This is it?
It's the end of the road for
It's all right.
Jetpack.
Oh, so did you guys hear that the Philadelphia Phillies do not want "Dancing on My Own" to be played at
They don't want a losing song.
They took it out of their Spotify playlists and
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah, they did.
So it's
I read that.
like if we
That's
have
it. It's done. That's
That-
why I didn't open with that. I opened with a little center
John
field,
Fogerty.
John
Yeah.
Fogerty. Yeah.
Yeah. No. I think we're in for a treat this year. And I mean, I told you guys, I gave you my prediction: 94 wins, the division, and back in the World Series.
When you have a season like they had last year, where it was ho hum until Topper takes over,
Right.
and then
This is where I base my 94 wins on.
immediately almost instant. It's a different feel.
They played 700 ball.
Right. Now you have him starting the season.
Right.
You have his philosophy in there now. I mean, God, you made it to the World Series.
Right.
This is for let's take a little trip back. Take a little trip back to. I know you guys can go back to the '80s. It was
I
the
go
year
back-
before I was born.
I go
I know
back
you're
to-
back.
I go back to the 60s.
There was also an epic collapse back in that time too.
Yeah, I was just unaware when that happened.
But,
I
you
didn't.
know,
My
I
awareness
wouldn't- I
didn't.
wouldn't
My
have-
my
Oh,
baseball
that was-
awareness didn't kick in
I
until
was-
that was-
06 through
That
11.
was post Whiz Kid.
Oh, 06 through 11, Phillies baseball at this time was exciting.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it is again.
Right.
And I really think that if you take a moment and think about where they were last season, where the Eagles just came from, where the Sixers may be heading, we are the luckiest fans on planet Earth right now.
Yeah.
Okay, you didn't win the Super Bowl. Okay,
No.
you didn't win the World Series.
No, but we have very entertaining teams.
No, I was just thinking that.
If
Yeah.
the Flyers can find a way next season to right this ship and become relevant,
Yikes!
I mean, look out.
That's-
Something that we didn't
yikes.
talk about, just as a brief Flyers note, that one of their owners is out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Who?
One of the minority owners.
Scott?
Yeah.
Dave Scott?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Put him in a bedroom.
Put him in the bedroom. See ya.
James,
Stuff.
you know
Yeah, I
James.
think-
As Martin was
James is the chauffeur. He will drive anyone to the airport that needs to
I
get out
don't
of jail.
drive, but I'll drive him to the airport.
I know.
Right.
I believe you.
Hey, Tom, on
Anyway, it's
your
Phillies season.
yeah on your point about the Philly season, when Topper took over, the Phillies were 7 games under 500. They were 29 and 22.
Yep.
Okay, or 22 and 29.
Girardi had won his last.
Girardi-
He won his last game.
And he had a
I watched
listless
that game.
squad who had no idea where they were going.
The energy was dead.
Right.
Yeah.
And this is where I base my record prediction for the team on, because I don't think there's any chance in the world that if they get to that same point this season, they're going to be 7 games under 500. Okay.
Now,
I think at the
So
worst,
51 games in.
51 games in, they're going to be at 500 or better.
Okay.
Okay. And if that's the case, they're 7 games better than they were last year. And they finished last year with 87 wins,
94.
94.
There you go.
And
so I have a question for you, Frank. So
Okay.
what's your takeaway? Because you sound like how I think people wanted to hear Dave Dombrowski sound during his press conference.
okay.
Dombrowski seems more pessimistic.
Of course he does.
And I guess for right reasons, because there's a lot of parity in the NL East. There's a lot of parity in the NL. He knows how difficult it is. He's been around the block a time or two, and he understands that being able to repeat success isn't always just that easy.
Dave Dombrowski is layered. He's a layered guy.
Like an onion.
He's layered like a really old oak tree. That many layers, because he's been around baseball a long time, and he's done this everywhere he's gone. So, if I'm Dave Dombrowski and I'm sitting there, I want everybody in the league to think I'm being pessimistic and careful, and this will put them in a more vulnerable position when they want to deal with me, because they think I might be desperate. And he winds up coming out on top with stuff because he thinks that people think that he's not completely sure. I think Dave Dombrowski has put together probably the best team we've seen since 07, 08.
I was going to say if you're one of those folks that are like, yeah, they made it to the World Series, they caught lightning in a bottle. Even if that were the case, look at the moves that they made in the off.
Did you see the top 100 list of baseball players in baseball? The active players in baseball.
No.
8 of them are on the Phillies
Yeah.
roster.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, but if you have 8 of the top 100 on your team, you're beating somebody.
yeah, right.
Okay.
You know,
And
that's not
Dave
a fake
Dombrowski has done this really quietly. And you're right. He sounds pessimistic when he's talking. He sounds like, and you have to be, because baseball is all about being a game of failure. You know, it's not about success; it's about failure and how you overcome that
Right.
failure. And he's really good at overcoming failure. And I'm it's-
Prime example of what you brought up about Girardi, the
Right,
transition to
right.
Girardi.
And you look at the Phillies roster and their mental aspect at the end of the year, and I don't see any change. I don't see any change in their mental approach. There's no, for lack of a better term, there's no fly in the ointment in that clubhouse.
Right.
They are all on the same page, and they are on the same exact page they were when the World Series ended.
All the additions that you made, and Andrew Painter.
Yes.
This.
Well,
I
you're not going
mean,
to see Painter till May.
I was going to say. I mean, do you think you don't think he comes up with the bigs? Right.
They don't need
for
him.
opening day?
They don't need him. They're going to leave him in the minors. They're going to let him get innings. And I already put a bet in with FanDuel that he wins Rookie of the Year.
Wow.
Um,
Wins Rookie of the Year not coming up till May though.
Yep.
I like it.
He's going to be the
He's-
5-hole pitcher. He's going to win.
He's still gonna
14,
get
15
yeah,
games.
yeah.
He's still going to get 20 to 25 starts.
Right.
Well,
he's going to win
well,
14. If
That's
he's,
a good point. That's a
well,
good point.
Rob Thompson said he's going with 5 starters.
yeah, not at the start. He won't do it in April.
Gee,
April he'll have a
who
40.
said he should have
He
5
just-
starters?
I was just listening to the show when I came in. He said he was on. He said I'm going to do 5 starters. But the thing about, and I said it's because I said baseball didn't give me time to catch up. It's like it just ended. Now it's like,
Yeah, no, we're right back at it.
Yeah.
Same thing with football. We like the what's that the
Combine.
combines next week.
No.
Tuesday.
Yeah, but it's like
Tuesday.
yeah,
Yeah.
it just kind of it's like oh yeah. But anyway, a couple things with the Phillies. Of course, I'm gonna check in today.
You got to.
Yeah, yeah.
Of course, I know I am. It's already
You,
scheduled.
well, you need to kill time to 8:30 tonight.
You know,
It's scheduled. It's scheduled.
Union. Look, Joe, you've known me most of our lives. You've been with me every single step on this show. James, you as well. I've talked more Union today than I probably ever have on
Ever.
this show. And
Ever.
after when they lost in the cup in the championship,
Yeah.
I don't even know what the hell it's called. That's how much I know.
Mm,
When I'm talking Union soccer, the Pattison Ave Phanatics is clicking on all cylinders. Let me just tell you that right there.
well, I also know that when you have your ire up, you're like a dog with a bone. You're like,
Yeah.
no, I'm not letting this go. Like, I'm going to watch to make sure when he fails, I'm going to jump all over it.
100%, man.
But, here's where I go with Painter and with the pitching. And this is one of the benefits, too, is that you have Bailey Falter, who had a really good season last year.
Uh-huh.
And that's where I think the 5th starter is going to come in
Right.
in April. And then you're going to transition Painter from a long reliever from the bullpen into that 5th starter role. And depending on what Falter does, if Falter doesn't do well, that may be like, okay, this guy needs to go somewhere for a little bit and do what they did last time. Because remember, they sent him down beginning of last year, because he was really having a crappy beginning of the season, and he straightened out. And he came back up, and he was like a different man. Him and Alvarado.
I have a question that I've been thinking about since their off season kind of began, and then the moves they made in their off season, and I've been thinking about this. Is this the first time in a long time that Phillies pitching is almost as exciting, if not as exciting, as their hitting on paper?
The Phillies pitching to me hasn't been this exciting since the 4 aces.
Yep, I was thinking the same thing.
And it's not that they have 4 aces at the top of their.
It's
I'm
just
not even using that moniker
No.
anymore.
It's their bullpen.
yeah.
Their bullpen is full
Hey,
of fire-breathing dragons
He took one of their biggest weaknesses
and made it a strength.
a strength.
Yeah.
Well,
I
you
was
got
just-
to imagine in that World Series, Dabrowski's looking at all those arms coming out of the Houston bullpen and
Yeah.
going,
That's exactly what did
That's
it.
it. Yep,
They were
100%.
9-10 pitchers deep in that
Yeah.
lineup, and he's like, we can't go back into that playoffs
"You can't
because
do this again."
every team they beat in the playoffs,
Right.
every team the Phillies beat in the playoffs, fell short because of their pitching.
Right.
Every single team.
The bullpen
and-
too.
And when it
basically.
and when it came to us in the World Series, we fell short because of our pitching.
Yeah.
Now I was just looking at the schedule, Tom. The best Saturday game for us, May 20th, against the Cubs.
Ooh,
It's
the
a
Cubbies.
it's a 4:05 start.
Nice.
We can do a pregame Phanatics Show
Yeah.
in the parking lot, right?
Yes.
And then go right into the game.
And I think that we could bring our families down. Too,
Absolutely,
and-
it's a
and-
day game. It's a day game.
Yeah.
We could get the show, maybe push it a little bit later, whatever.
What's that?
Well, what time is the show? What time in the afternoon? Okay, so you can catch the first couple innings. You're not that. It's not like you're in Timbuktu. You're in South Philadelphia, and if you beat the traffic out of the park, you'll be home in no time.
Nah, but yeah, it's
I get
Joey,
it. I get it.
Joey preps and everything.
But the week before, the only Saturday available for is the Boston game. We won't get tickets for that.
Jersey, right?
Yeah.
I drove by there the other day. Made me think.
But the Saturday that's available before that would be Boston, and we're not going to get tickets for that.
That's going to be a tough one.
Yeah,
we'll figure something out.
But I mean, that's what I
Boston's
think.
in shambles.
No, you might be able to get some.
But no, that doesn't matter whether they're in the shambles or not. Those
Oh, I
people
know,
from Boston
I know,
are going
I
to come
know.
down for the game.
But so they have the thing now where the teams are playing everybody. So you lose a couple of games against the Braves. You lose a couple of games against. I'm fine with it. I don't like seeing like even the NBA like they do this home and home. I don't like it. I just don't. I don't know. Something that bothers me. But I don't like playing the Mets this week and then playing Cincinnati and then the Mets again. Like it kind of just bothers me. But that's just me. I know my pet peeve about.
Like you want a different kind of.
Yeah, I want a different team.
You're going to get a lot of difference this year.
Yeah, and that's fine. But here's the thing. So a couple of things off of what Frank said, that the team could possibly be over 500 after 51 games, right? So we're what 162 season? Right? Am I correct?
Yep.
So what do you do, TK? Because they're far apart on contract talk. I'm talking about Joey's favorite player, Reese. They're far. I set them off for you, Frank. They're far apart on contract talks. It just came up yesterday.
Yeah.
I don't expect them to resign him.
I don't.
No, they're not.
I think
They're going to trade him
because of his agent, the situation. So you're above 500.
Mm-hmm.
You're in first place.
Right.
You have a chance to do some things.
Right.
You may be in need of some position players.
Right.
What do you do? Do you trade them for a player straight up? We know in baseball, you rarely get you trade for draft picks. That's not baseball.
Right.
No,
No,
well, I mean, it's because it takes too long to develop.
Yeah. So that's out. It's not basketball.
No, they're not that valuable.
No,
Right.
At least like a mid-season type deal. You're not going to go for.
But
unless you're just trying to get rid of a cancer out of your locker room.
Right. So do you look at pitching? Do you look at a position player?
Right now, I wouldn't look at
But I'm
pitching.
saying,
No, not unless they suffer injuries.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is during that time, because also you got to factor in Bryce is on his way back. He's
Right.
not back already.
Right.
So do you end the season with Reese and get nothing?
No.
That's what's going to happen.
No.
Or do you go? It's three choices. A, you resign him, which I doubt that they will. B, you try to trade him and get some value, a player or two, and then get. But the thing that kind of is kind of similar, I guess, with baseball is you get minor league players, but that's kind of like draft picks, right?
Yeah.
Or do you finish the season with them, Joey James, and
Maybe.
because if you're on a run and he's hot, by the way, he's hot.
Oh, that's when you trade.
That's
him.
when you trade him.
That's when the market's high.
You go for a utility player,
Right.
like maybe with a big
You want a bench bat. You want a bench bat.
You want a bench bat or somebody you could use in the DH spot because when Harper, comes back and he's back in the field, you'll have that DH spot open again. So
Right.
maybe you go somebody in that. But
I wouldn't even do that because they have so many DHs in their clubhouse. It's not even
it's
funny.
True too.
I know. I would go for a bench bat utility player, and maybe a minor leaguer.
So what do you move? Bohm the first?
I would
Next season, not this season, not this season.
Somebody to cover for. If I'm just saying, with this hypothetical.
No, there's guys that can play first base here.
This all could play out.
There's guys that can play first
I
base.
would go with outfielder only because of two things. Number one, you're going to move either Baum, Schwarber, or Castellanos first.
Right.
So you don't have to worry about who's covering first.
Yeah, especially with Harper coming back.
Yeah.
Right. But Harper's not going to play the outfield this season. They're going to, with Tommy John, they're not going to gamble with that because Harper, the minute that he gets a chance to gun someone out at home plate, you're going to tell me he's going to pull up. I got to watch.
They're not going to let him play the position until he's ready to play the position.
Right.
But my feeling is because of that injury, And by the timetable that he's at right now, my feeling is he's not going to play the field this season.
No, I don't believe that at all. I believe he'll be back in the lineup, full in the lineup by mid-July. He'll be
In the field.
No, in the field. He'll be in the field mid-July. He'll be in the lineup at DH beginning of June. That's the target date. He's gonna be swinging the bat in June.
Wouldn't you want to protect him from?
It doesn't hurt to swing the bat.
No, I get this.
But he's saying about in the field. That's
July.
right.
He's going to be July. I'm telling you, he's playing the second half of the season in right field.
No restrictions.
No
In right
restrictions.
field.
He's
bat-
playing the second half of the season.
What gives you the indication as going to happen?
Everything that they've said that he'll be back mid-season, full strength mid-season. They've all said this. I mean, it's not. I'm not making news here.
I'm not. I'm just more so. I guess more so. The question was like, what do they have? Because what I read is that they want to make sure his arm's straight. Okay, he can stretch his arm.
Yeah.
Right.
He's going to hit off the tee.
He's been hitting off.
Yeah, he's been
hitting off the tee. And it's
easy
all
swings,
goes well
nothing.
with the swelling and stuff afterwards, and they can ramp it up, as Billy would say.
Right.
So
he's going to be down in Clearwater
this week.
No, 2 weeks.
Oh, 2 weeks.
March 8th.
Okay. No. The projection for him is July
to come back
to come back full
Come
strength.
back and play. I mean, I've heard that.
Play
Yeah.
right field. Yeah, after the All-Star break, he'll be in the outfield, and they won't be careful about it. If he's not ready, they're not going to play him.
Right, and that's why
But he will be in the field this year.
That's why with Reese, I would get that outfielder. That way, you hedge your bets with Bryce.
And Joey,
I don't have a problem with that.
Joey,
Yeah,
you don't want to just get an outfitter. You want somebody with some pop.
Yeah.
You want somebody like James that can kind of
Absolutely.
No. You because I can't do the if. Because here's the reason why. Say what you want. Reese can hit.
Yeah.
So I want something equivalent to that.
Okay, I have a plan.
You know what I'm saying?
Like Hannibal Smith.
Now, I'm going to be greedy.
Me too.
What's going to happen?
Me too.
TK. San Diego. You willing to take him for Machado?
No.
Okay.
Poison pill.
PP?
I'm good, thanks.
Poison pill.
This locker room's not strong enough.
I have a better option in California.
Mike Trout.
Who wants out? And that's Mike Trout.
Joey, I defer to you.
I mean,
you're talking a boatload.
How are you going?
Now Painter's gone, by the way. Painter's included in that trade.
You're gonna have
He's Painter's at the top of the list in that trade, Frank.
You're not just giving Painter up. You're not just giving.
Actually, no, you're not, because of the money that's associated with Trout gets his bring back.
Frank, it's a different thing with baseball.
They have 4 pitchers in the minor leagues that are on Painter's level.
But
they have guys that can give up.
But you're going to have to give up Castellanos.
Yes.
You're going to have to give up Reese.
Yes.
You're going to have to give up prospects.
You're going to get you can give up Castellanos.
Look at TK. You should see TK's face.
You can give up Castellanos. You can give up Reese. You can give up Reese. You can give up Abel. You can give up Abel. All right.
That's a ballsy move, man.
You're giving up our catcher.
Mike Trout's all world though too. So
that's name.
Okay.
What
would this lineup look like?
Yeah, we'll have
Trey Turner.
We'll have 9 players
Harper,
in the dugout. That's
Trout, Schwarber. Who pitches around that lineup?
Who pitches
that's a dangerous lineup, man.
I think it's going to happen because they can't sign Ohtani.
Yeah,
and Trout. It's going
to go after Ohtani.
I think I think there's a more feasible deal. And again, it's a player it's in California.
Okay.
Tatis wants out.
He's going to cost you more than Trout will. Because he's 8 years younger.
Well, keep in mind of something though. He's on his current. So like, if he were to get traded,
so get stock to buy.
You don't have to worry about salary to salary, not yet. So you can sit there and go, okay, we'll trade you Castellanos, save some money, and when that contract comes up, you just give him what you were giving.
These guys haven't played one spring training game. We're already giving half the goddamn team away.
Listen, to get that piece, to get
I'm
Tatis,
like, whoa.
it would cost you. It would
That's why
cost you.
sports talk so great.
Rob Thompson's going to have to play. I mean, come on.
To get Tatis on this team, and that would it would cost you all 4 of your best prospects pitching in the minor leagues.
And
So
it wouldn't be
Painter,
worth it.
Abel, no, you got to get rid of Painter, Abel. Who's the kid that's
Gillis.
yes, and Stott's got to go.
Oh,
Right,
Dude,
Stott has
we
to go.
get it. James is sitting over
If
here.
you don't win the World, if you don't win the World Series next
Like,
like
seriously.
this season,
Dude, we're gonna have to,
Well, I'm telling you,
we're gonna have to call up Ryan
Mike
Howard,
Trout-
Utley, and Rollins. For
now
some
Mike
10-day
Trout,
contracts
Mike
or
Trout's more
something.
feasible because Mike Trout has suffered injuries the last few years, so he's got an injury question mark on him. He's not going to cost as much as Tatis would.
I don't know, man.
He's already
It's
costing
a
you.
game.
Of course he is. You got to pay for him.
It's a
But I
game.
can sacrifice Castellanos and Reese Hoskins for Trout,
So,
and
they're going to want Painter, dude.
and they're not going to get Painter. They can have Abel, and they can have the other
They're
kid.
going to want both.
They're not going to get both. They won't be able to
Right.
demand both.
Right, here's the thing. When you're talking about
How much is he going to make this year? It's you gotta understand the salary involved reduces the amount of player you get in return. This is what Dombrowski does. He's going to go to him and say, I know this is what you want from Mike Trout, but here's the reality. The reality is he makes X amount of dollars. This is our salary. This is what we need to trade off to get him, and this is what we will give you as a bonus.
That's the difference. Is
Right.
with the contracts in the MLB.
It reduces his value.
Guaranteed, so you have to match.
Right.
Norm weighing in on some baseball, which we just normally argue with Norm on Commanders Eagle stuff. He said there's a diamond in the rough that is obtainable. Travis Blankenhorn, go get him.
Does anybody know who he is?
I
think that's Blankenship.
I know Blankenship.
I know a
Blankenship.
Norm, give a.
Norm, you got to come in.
No,
hotter
I'm
than
on
that.
it. I'm on it. I'm on it.
Yeah, get it. Look him up,
I know there's
Mr.
a Blankenship.
Mr. Producer.
I mean,
No, listen, this is. I love this guy. I personally love.
This is hot stove.
I'm just
talk.
thinking like because of the agent. The agent's not. He's going to look out for his client. We know who's behind.
well,
it,
his agent's already gotten paid.
No, but I'm saying is we know he's going to look out for Reese no matter what and try to put him in a better position.
Okay.
So
They're going to need a bat.
I'm not saying
Angels are going to need a
I
bat.
know why Norm knows who this is.
Oh boy.
Travis Blankenhorn, position pinch hitter, second baseman, outfielder, bats left, throws right. Born August 3rd, 1996 in Pottsville, PA, where Norm is from. Okay.
It's a hometown play.
Blankenhorn.
What organization is he with?
Like the Mets there? Hold on one second.
Oh well, he's a turncoat.
The Mets AAA team.
The Mets
Yeah,
do not pick.
something like that.
The Mets do not pick bums for the.
We went to
It's-
Pottsville area high school, so I think Norm. I don't know where Norm went, but that's in his. He previously played in the MLB for the Twins and the Mets.
Okay.
All right, Norm, you're out on baseball.
Yeah.
No more from you.
No
Joey
more
said, he said,
from
no
you.
more from you. No more from you.
The Twins. He said.
No baseball for you.
No baseball for you. Joe said, you should have heard Joey's.
Come back, 1 year.
The baseball
No
Nazi.
one for you. Yeah,
But,
the baseball.
but I mean,
Hey, nothing against Pottsville players, by the
No,
way. I'm just
no.
giving you a hard time.
Absolutely
Once
not.
he went Twins on Joey, that was it.
That's
Joey. So no, this is not. It's what Frank is saying is not so far fetched. It's just that I'm looking at it going, okay.
I will check him out, Deal. He said,
What-
I'm
what-
telling you, look into him. I will.
I just think that the Phillies will have to give up more than what you're saying.
I think it's wishful thinking.
Of course it
look at
is.
Oh, wishful
I-
Of course it is.
What we're doing right now, we're thinking wishfully.
If Mike Trout wants to leave, I mean, saying
Oh, he does.
Oh, he does.
Oh, he wants out.
He
Oh, he
wants
wants
out.
out.
he had a chance to leave 3 years ago.
Yeah, I know, but
Yeah.
they backed
Hey.
up the Brinks truck in front of his
Yeah.
I
house.
said no, he would have gotten it somewhere else.
No, he wouldn't have got that much.
No, they backed the Brinks truck up.
No, they
I
did.
can't with these guys, man.
You
Yeah.
you got to
I
understand
can't
with
these guys. Man. I'm sorry, I
with
can't.
where he's at. The fact that they were able to back up the Brinks truck for him in California, in LA,
Yeah.
and then and he's like, okay, now who else is coming? And you got Rodon, which was okay, but nothing like he was before he got to the Angels.
Right.
And then Otani's gone.
Yeah.
He is just he's halfway out the door.
Yeah.
We
Trout
already
Trout
know
will
that.
not survive the rebuild there. He won't last.
Trout
long
should have
enough.
listened to Harper when Harper said, "Come over here."
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I'm all about trout fishing.
Yeah.
However,
Yeah.
I would take Otani.
Well, of course you would.
I would love to have that guy.
I'm
Friggin'
hearing
phenom.
a
Yeah.
lot of people. So many clubs are interested in him. It's going to be a bidding war.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
He's going to cost $500 million.
So what do you?
Well, and the people you're trading to get him.
Yeah.
Where does Trout end up?
Trout, I'm telling you, Trout's going to wind up in Philly.
Yeah, that would be fantastic.
I'm telling
That
you,
would be
Trout is going to wind up in
As
Philly.
long as we don't have to gut the entire
Yeah.
organization.
No, Dave Dombrowski's not going to let that
You're going to
happen.
be trading beer vendors and all this other.
I have
You know,
I'll give up the beer vendors.
I
don't
have
care.
a different take.
I have a different
where
take.
Not giving up the hot
I
pants
think it
girls.
might
of where Trout might end up.
I think he might end up with the Mets.
No,
Oh, please.
No.
I think
No.
he'll,
God, no.
I think he'll end up with the Cubs. Because
I
the
could
Cubs
deal
need a
with that.
centerpiece.
I could deal with that.
They need a centerpiece. They
Or you know where
are-
he might end up? The Red Sox, because they have a lot of prospects.
They don't have money because they just
they got-
paid like so many people. I was on
Frank's
another
thinking. He's looking.
another
Red Sox
show.
are dangerous.
Dodgers? I don't know.
Oh, God, that would be murder.
No.
No. Who's their center fielder?
Dodgers?
Yeah.
They don't have the money.
Yankees can't get him.
They've got all the
The Yankees
money
can't
in the
get him.
I
world.
know that. I
Them
know
and the-
that they would have believed
Them and the
they
Mets.
do.
Them and the Mets. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
they think
Them,
they
the Mets,
do.
and the Yankees. You can't outspend them.
Right, but
can't
the
outspend them.
ridiculousness that they spend.
Yeah, but he's not going to play for the Yankees. His judge is there. It's not like
Yeah, Gene Carlos might be on his way out too.
Yeah.
So you got to think that's a
I shouldn't
good
say that.
bargaining
I shouldn't
chip.
say that. I shouldn't say that. I mean,
I'm
Can you
telling you.
imagine
I'm telling
Trout
you.
and
Don't be
Judge?
surprised. Don't be surprised if you see Trout in Philly. Don't be surprised.
I just think we have to give up so.
I don't think it. I don't think it costs all that much.
February 25th, 10:17 a.m. I got you, Frank.
All right.
When's the trade deadline?
It's mid season.
Mid-July.
Yeah, mid-July.
February 25th.
I was about to say that's why.
You gotta love it.
I mean, here's my thing. I'm not disagreeing with Frank that if you have Trout on this team,
Yikes.
it's like I'm not pitching. I'm calling out sick. I got a hangnail. I got a blister. I'm doing whatever excuse gets me.
My
out of
doggy
pitching.
doesn't feel good.
Look, I got COVID. Put me in
What-
quarantine. I
what-
don't care.
What did Embiid have that playoff year? The bubble.
Oh God.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
mean, that's kind of the thing is like, even with the lineup as is, it's still scary. But then you add someone like him.
Well, the
and,
lineup has gone to almost 8 people deep for the
And-
Phillies.
You know, here's the interesting thing: is people are jumping off the Mike Trout train nationally. They don't believe because they know Ohtani's on the way out. Like that's not a hidden secret.
Right.
Rodon's not the same player he was.
Right.
And Trout's like a one man in it, without a country.
Yeah.
Adam.
So I mean, I can understand where
I
you're
think
coming from.
I think he has refusal in his contract.
Does.
He's got trade control.
He does,
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
does.
So he can say where he wants to go. Yeah.
Frank,
I mean-
hold on, Joey.
I mean, he is an
Frank-
Eagles
Frank,
season
Frank
ticket
knows something because he just says
It's no.
he's giving out little. He has a
Look, I'm
he
telling
has
you,
control.
he
has-
does.
And then you got this look. You know something, Frank. Come
Well,
on, spill
look,
the beans, brother.
Look, you see Mike Trout at every single Eagle game.
Yes, sir.
The kid was born and raised in the Philadelphia area. He was a Phillies fan when he was a kid. Okay, if the money hadn't been that ridiculous, I think the Phillies would have made a play for him. But at the time, we had Clint Tack as our freaking general manager. So we don't have
Don't
Clint
hide
Tack
your
anymore.
Isn't Clint Tack still on the payroll? By the way?
Clint Tack needs to find a guillotine. We ought to go French on him. French Revolution on him.
program, Frank.
Wow. Where did this go from laissez-faire to like let the gallows come loose?
Yeah.
We might have to do.
Well, he did to us what Colangelo did to the Sixers.
Yep.
I'm not disagreeing with that.
he
Okay,
did to
At
us what
all.
Gannon
and
did to
and
the
you know what?
defense.
If
How
I'm
about that?
He did what
if I'm
Chuck
setting up
Hutchins
if
doing
I'm
to the
setting up the
Flyers.
guillotine on the
He
Art
did to us
Museum
what Gannon
steps,
did to the defense in the second half.
listen, yeah, if I'm setting up the guillotine on the Art Museum steps, it's Clintack first,
Colangelo.
Colangelo second, and Gannon third,
Gannon's on there.
and we just watch it roll down the steps. Rocky can pick it on his way up.
By the way, we play the Cardinals next season,
It'll be
and it's a
fun.
home game.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it'll
he's
be
getting
funny.
booed.
I'm going.
He's getting
Oh,
booed.
nice.
And I'm going with a little bit of
He's
surprise.
going to hear it. He's going to hear
Oh
it.
yeah, but there's something that people have been saying about Gannon. Like some people are like it's not Gannon's fault. I'm like,
Dude,
"Here-
Yeah,
here's,
it is.
here's the
that's
thing.
ridiculous, man. That's a
Here-
hot take.
Here's the thing. You can't sit there. I mean, you had Brian Dawkins
Yeah, he said the
in
same thing.
BD. I trust.
Yeah,
That man.
said he'd have a
went
problem playing
off.
for him. He said I'd have a problem playing for him.
I
He
love it.
went
I love it.
off.
I love it. That's
I
all you
think
need to
that's
know.
awesome.
That's all you need to know.
Yeah.
I didn't know that, Joe. That's all you.
If Brian
Now the Mike
Dawkins
Trout
says it,
thing
I
is
believe
a dream sequence. For
I
me.
know.
I mean,
Listen,
I give it a less than 10% chance of
I
happening.
get it. I get you with
But
that.
that 10% has me dreaming.
But I just think that no one's talking about the Reese thing, and that's going to come up.
Reese
It's
is
going to be a
Reese is
hot.
going to go.
It's going to be
Yeah,
a hot
and
topic
so-
for the whole season.
Right, but and that's the thing. I mean, we got time to talk about it, obviously, but it's
And-
more so like, do you get something for now? Do you get something for later on down
You
the
know
road?
what we really need?
Like, there's so many ways you can go with that.
If there's if
And I'm not saying he's going to hold. I'm not saying he's worth like the top minor league player right now. I'm not suggesting that, but he's not a bad player. You can get something decent for him.
not this
that-
year.
that can-
And-
Not this year.
You got to keep in mind it's
Not on
something-
his contract here. You know,
not
he's a rental player at this point.
well, there are plenty of people
Serious.
that do that, but you're not going to get
You're
high value.
Right.
But here's the other hot topic that's going to be in the Philly season. JT Realmuto.
Mm.
What do you do in that regard? Because there are a lot of people, and Matty B being one of them,
Mm-hmm.
that was kind of like, okay, maybe it's time to move on.
Why?
I,
He had a good season last
I
year.
don't completely understand.
When Harper was out, he was playing
This-
really good baseball.
right.
Like,
He's the best catcher in the league.
I don't understand.
oh yeah. By the way, thanks, James. He's throwing people out at second. Like,
I don't understand the whole philosophy in it. But
Well, I mean, the philosophy in it is his age.
yeah.
You
I
know,
think
now
that's a big
now
part of it.
here's where you have to adjust your thinking when it comes to his age, because Dombrowski has now constructed the team that they can afford to take JT out of the lineup for breaks, for rest time, because the lineup can make up his shortcoming. Where his first two seasons you couldn't do that. He had to play 140 games a year, 150 games a year. Now you can give him a break because the lineup is so formidable that they can take JT out. He can get a rest here. He can get 1 day off a week, and then you've made JT the most valuable catcher in the playoffs.
But also, you have to factor in that people want to talk age. This guy calls games. That's underrated. He
No,
calls
he's
games.
the
calls
best
games
catcher in baseball. There's no two ways
I think
about it.
he
He's the best catcher
Colorado
in baseball.
tremendously this last
You
year.
know,
So,
you can't underrate the
But I-
value of the best catcher.
I
No,
think
you
that's
can't.
that's the point, like the word value, and I think that's where Matty B kind of goes. He's like, "There's value now.
Right.
The value is high now."
Yeah, but here's the thing: the Phillies are built to win now.
yeah, you
The
don't
Phillies,
trade
the Phillies have right now. The Phillies, the way the on-field team is constructed, is built to win for the next 3 seasons. Okay,
I agree.
that is the way they are built, and then they have enough of a young core to retool and build later. Okay, they do have enough, and bringing along the young pitchers is really going to help them. All right, this is why signing Nola is important right now, because Nola can bridge that gap to the next
So-
bunch of pitchers.
To Abel,
So-
Painter,
so
possible.
If you trade JT now, you are undermining your ability to take the opportunity of the window that's being presented. And I mean, that's why they constructed the bullpen the way it is, because they are going for it. There's no two ways about it. This is what makes me think that a trade for Trout would definitely happen if the opportunity presented itself, because they are going for it.
Well, don't get it.
They're putting cards. They're pushing their chips in.
Let's not get it twisted. Just because it's a fantasy doesn't mean that the Angels aren't putting Trout out there. They're dangling him out there, but it's a matter of what they want in return.
Right.
But
Yeah,
the idea, it's not a sexy thing, but the Reese trade could be just a bunch of prospects.
I understand it could be a
Yeah.
bunch of prospects, but if you're in the Angels position and you're going to need to replace 2 bats in the lineup,
Yep.
okay, this is why they could get Reese in that deal without a problem, but it would
And
cost you a Castellanos, and God, let's hope he has a bounce back season, and by the trade deadline he's hitting
Yeah.
302 with 19 home runs and
Your mouth
and
got
70
you.
and 70
I'll
RBIs.
I'll take
and he's tearing-
289.
And he's tearing the league up. And you go, look at what we got. We got our first baseman, and we got this right fielder who's tearing the league up because right around the trade deadline, Harper's going to be ready to come back in the lineup. So,
Speaking of which, what year are we going in on Harper's contract? 4th or 5th?
this is
Fourth, I think it is.
Yeah.
Year
four. This is year 4.
No, I just think it was Frank was saying the team was built.
They're built to win right now. They're
So-
built to win right now.
Now for the next 3 years. So you're talking the next 3 years. It'll be year 7.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. And that's when he's going to be like 35 at that point.
Yep.
JT's going to be 35.
Well, listen, guys, we're going to take a break from the Eagles this week.
Yeah, we need to get over it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
we have
Well,
time.
next week we got OTAs and stuff coming up. What's up,
One
guys?
Yeah.
question.
Shoot.
The hot topic, and I've heard so many people. That's why I feel like there could be a variety of answers. Defensive coordinator, who would be your guy?
Lovey Smith.
Doesn't matter who. Yeah, go ahead.
Are they talking?
Lovey Smith.
That's what I was. Yeah.
They
That's what I
talking to
was-
Lovey?
I think his name is on the table.
I would look at Lovey.
It would be foolish for it not to be.
Yeah.
Does Mrs. Howell come with?
Lovey.
I'm
I
with
I
you.
heard a person's name, and believe it or not, James brought it up about 8 months ago.
What's that?
Were you going to say Seth Joyner?
No, his name. No,
it won't
he's-
happen.
He said that he was willing.
No,
to
he
talk.
was asked, and he said in a second he would do it.
Yes,
Yeah.
of course he would.
I'm still.
He's been out of organized
He has-
football
he-
for 13 years.
And he has no coaching experience.
He's been out of organized
Yeah.
football for 13 years. And I love Seth Joyner, but he can't
Same.
be my DC.
Nah, because his
Bring him back as linebacker coach. Yeah, I got that.
Nah,
Yeah.
right. That yeah, I would do that because it's a different ball game. Like, I
Those are
get,
weird-
he's from an era where
Entirely different era.
they could take that yelling and screaming, but these guys today.
I'd love him to be the linebacker.
Yeah. But I know fans chose that they moved on, whatever, from him.
No, he
There's a
moved
guy-
on without them.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
He
a
got
guy
signed.
Anthony mentioned,
He's with
Georgia's
Denver.
defensive coordinator.
Yeah, Georgia's defensive.
There you go.
I think-
James.
I was just going to say that.
I
Yeah,
think
they
I
looked
think
at
he
him.
said no as well.
He said
Oh,
that as well.
wow.
Yeah, I think he said no as well.
Now
Actually,
Rex
no,
Ryan,
that was Jim Leonard.
That was Jim
from
Leonard.
Wisconsin.
Oh, well,
Yeah,
Leonard
yeah,
from
yeah.
Wisconsin.
yeah, but now Rex Ryan's name,
That wouldn't be bad.
but they don't know if he would
I don't
match
know.
with Sirianni.
I don't know.
Personality.
I don't know. I would take a Ryan back in here for a defensive. Yeah.
Well,
I would talk to
he
him.
was a monster defensive coordinator.
Yeah,
he was
yeah,
really
he
good.
He was.
I would talk to him.
yeah, I would
Yeah.
definitely.
Told him.
I would absolutely.
I would do his brother versus him.
His brother's out there.
Rob
Yeah, that's right.
Ryan.
Yeah, Rob did.
Yeah,
Rob
Rob.
Ryan was DC in Dallas for
Yeah.
a
He
while.
was. He was. That's
New
right.
Orleans too, right?
Yeah.
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 All right. Well, interesting questions that we can pose next week. Well, we're going to wrap this week for Joe Marks, James Scorza, Damon Salim, and Frank Finnegan. I'm Tom Kelly. This is Pattison Ave Phanatics Show, and we are out of here.